everybody, welcome to your yoga session. This is a short yoga session that could be done, fitted in nice and easily into your day. We're not going to be doing any standing postures in this. It's going to be quite relaxing, which I think is ideal at this time of year. This is going to be part of a mix of workouts. You've got your boxing, you've got your weights-based workout, and then you've got some yoga to do as well, so with lots of stretching, etc. So what we're going to start off with is some breathing, some breath awareness. So I want you to just shoot your fingers up to the ceiling, and I want you to spread your fingers nice and wide so you feel that webbing, you see that webbing in between your fingers. You're then going to bring the hands down and you're going to place them on your ribs, and we're going to do a bit of breath work. So we're just going to do 4 rounds of breathing in through our nose for a count of 4, holding our breath and then releasing our breath for a count of 6 all the way to 1. And we're going to feel that contraction really fully as we hold on to those ribs. So let's breathe in through the nose for 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's hold our breath for a moment. And let's breathe out, feeling that belly or that rib cage contract back down as we release. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then let's do that a second time. Let's inhale deeply through our nose, feeling that belly or that rib cage contract outwards as we breathe in. Retain your breath at the top and then release your breath for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then let's do a third time now. So sitting up nice and tall, breathe in through your nose for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold your breath and then release your breath for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then one final time, breathing in through your nose, feeling that contraction and movement of the hands all the way to the top, and then releasing out any tension on the exhale as you breathe out. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then we'll just rub our palms together and open our eyes. I want you to start to build up some energy in your hands. Rub your palms together. Feel that heat in your hands. And then just place one hand over the heart space. Place the other hand on top and just connecting with your inner self now. Just making the intention to be mindful through this relaxing practice, and also to be mindful generally, connecting with yourself, and just take some time for yourself over this Easter period. Okay, so this practice is great to do just before bed, to wind down in the evening, and it's going to be a relaxing series of postures. We'll do some seated postures, some postures on our hands and knees, and then we'll use the wall for a bit of support at the end for some postures, and then we'll do back into some postures on our back, and just gently bring everything down into a final 2-minute relaxation. Okay, so the first move we're going to do is a familiar one with you. We're just going to start to do some hip circles. So we're going to keep our lower body on the mat, and we're just going to start to move in one direction, keeping the sit bones grounded, but bringing your chest over your knees, and just doing some beautiful circles as you go around one direction. And I really need this today. Then we're going to go all the way around the other way. So again, just slowly warming up your body, nice and gentle. Close your eyes if you want to, move your upper body, take your head with it, whatever you need to do just to mobilise and start to warm up. We're then just going to take a little press to one side, as if we're doing little press ups, still keeping the hips on the floor, bending our nose or bringing our chest down towards those hands. And then we'll just walk over to the other side and just do a little press on the other side just to open up both sides of the body. And then we're just going to shoot the fingers up, a bit like we did when we were starting our breath practice. And then we're just going to wiggle the fingers just to start to warm them up. We're going to inhale as we shoot those fingers up to the ceiling, we look up, and then we breathe out as we flutter those fingers down. We take those fingers up and we look at the webbing in between our hands, and then we breathe out. And we do that one more time. Shoot those fingers up and then release them down. And then we're just going to flick as if we're flicking rainwater off the fingers. Take them up to the ceiling and out to the sides. And then we'll start doing some circular motion just to warm up those shoulders. So we're just going to turn the palms and just take that sort of little rotation in the wrists, one way and then the other. And then we'll just take a nice side bend. So leaning over to one side, pressing into that palm. And if you want to, you can just look up for a bit of a neck stretch, look up towards that arm, and then just bend a little bit more into it. And then we'll swap sides, doing again, looking up, feeling that nice stretch in the side of the body. We're then going to take our hands out to the sides like this, and we're going to reach to further activate our side muscles, and then we're going to reach to the other side. And then we're going to come across again, and then to the other side. Then we're going to place our hands behind our head. We're going to start to do a little bit of a crunch motion, start to engage our tummy muscles, bring the elbows together. And then we're just going to take those elbows back behind us. We're going to bring in a breath. We're going to breathe out as we come down. And we're going to inhale as we come up. We're going to breathe out as we come down. We're going to inhale as we come up. Now we're going to take a nice twist. So opposite hand to the knee. Take your fingers up behind you, so up on your fingertips. You're going to rotate around to the back of the room, up nice and tall. Imagine there's a piece of string attached from the top of your head all the way to the ceiling, pulling you up nice and tall, a nice straight spine. And then you're just going to pivot over to the other side again, lifting that chest up and back, pulling the tummy muscles in and rotating to the back of the room. Amazing. Then we're going to take the legs nice and wide. Going to push the sit bones back. We're just going to start to engage the inner thigh muscles by bringing those hands in front of you and really bringing that chest towards the floor. So we're feeling an engagement in those inner thighs now. And then we'll go into our 90-90 stretch. So I'm just going to have one leg bent in front like this, the other one goes back at a bit of a right angle. We then pivot our hips to the front of the room, and then we start to come down into that position, either on our elbows up onto our hands, and we're feeling that opening in the hips. Just bowing the head down here, enjoying just opening up through those hips. You can just nod the head here and just shake the head from side to side just to loosen up through the neck muscles. And then we're just going to swap sides, so we're going to do another everything the same on the other side. So that leg is bent in front like this, the other leg is at a right angle, pivot the hips around to the front, and then start to come down if you can. Hands is okay, but come down onto your elbows if you can, feeling that opening in those hips. So already starting to loosen up the body. You should start to feel a bit better already. You have your fingertips pointing towards you. Just going to windscreen wiper the legs from side to side. And then we'll just turn to the opposite way so that we just get a bit of an opening across the neck. And then we just let the knees drop to one side. And then we just do a couple more times, and then we're just going to let the knees drop to the other side and then look away. And then you'll see me come side on. So what we're going to do is we're just going to point and flex the feet. And then we're going to do some circles one way. Very mindful, nice slow practice. Really helps to decompress the nervous system. And we don't always have to do everything really fast. And then we're just going to open up through the chest, and we're going to lean back slightly. And then what we'll do is we'll bring our feet hip distance apart, and then we're just going to start to peel those hips off the floor as we feel it in the backs of our arms. And then we'll come down into a hamstring stretch. So I'm just going to bend one leg, we're going to sit up nice and tall, and then we're just going to reach for that straight leg. Tipping from the hips, feeling a stretch all the way down the back of the hamstring. A little bit of a stretch in the lower back, but the main place you're feeling it is in your hamstring. And then we're just going to swap legs, so we bring the other foot towards the top of the thigh, and that foot, point that foot up to the ceiling, and then start to, you can fold from the hips and feel that all the way down the back of the leg, that big muscle there hamstring. Amazing work. Okay, we'll do a little bit of a toe stretch here. So we're just going to come onto the knees, we're going to tuck the toes, and then we're going to bring the hands into our heart space. And we're just going to take a few breaths here, just as we feel that stretching and opening through the toes and the feet. Okay, and then we're going to come onto all fours. So we're going to tuck the tailbone down, we're going to look up, and then we're going to breathe out as we round the head, neck and shoulders. We're going to do that again, we're going to tuck the tailbone down, and then we're going to pull those tummy muscles in round the back, and then we're going to bring in the toes for another toe stretch. So tuck the toes under, drop the belly down, looking up, and then breathing, flattening the feet. Really pull the tummy in as tight as you can. And then again, inhaling as you come down, looking up, and then breathing out as you round. We'll do that 2 more times. And then we're going to come onto our elbows, and we're going to start to do some hip circles. So this should feel quite nice, opening in the knee joint as well. So just going to do some circles, so on our elbows in one direction. And then we're just going to go the other way. And then we're going to come into our puppy pose. So we're going to have our hands underneath our shoulders. We're then going to replace the backs of those hands with our elbows. We're going to walk our knees back. We're going to bend at the elbow. We're going to bring our chest towards the floor. I'm going to feel it in our lower back or upper back, and then the backs of our triceps. So really enjoy this. It's also called heart melting pose or puppy pose. And then we're going to come into our Sphinx pose. So hands are shoulder width apart. You're going to lift your chest, and you're going to feel that opening in the chest. You're going to feel it in the lower back and in the tummy muscles. And then we're going to do a front of the thigh stretch. We're going to bring the heel towards the back. We're going to press our forehead onto that hand. We're going to push our hips into the floor. We're going to feel a stretch in the front of the thigh. And then we're going to swap. And then we're going to come into a child's pose. So we're going to sit on our heels. We're then going to bring our chest to the floor. We're going to have our palms facing up towards the ceiling. And we're just going to enjoy a couple of breaths in this position. Okay, now that we're nicely warmed up, we're going to finish with some longer stretches, a series of postures just to really decompress, really help us to relax. And the first one we're going to use is, or the first one that we're going to do is legs up against the wall. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to get your mat right to the wall. You're going to have your bottom very close, and then you're going to come up the wall, and you're going to rest your heels on the wall. Your feet are hip distance apart. You can bring your arms over your head if you want to, or you can place your palms to the side of the body. You're going to start to relax, and you're going to start to feel a supported stretch along the backs of the legs. I just want you to close your eyes. We're going to hold here for a little bit longer than normal, just so that we can decompress. So we know how hard our bodies and our minds work for us, and it's really important sometimes to slow down and do this kind of practice to allow the nervous system to really recalibrate. And we're tapping into what we call our parasympathetic system now, our rest and digest system. So we're just calming the body, and this can be really nice, just feel really soothing having the legs in this position. If it's too much, you can bend your knees and bring the soles of your feet onto the wall, but just rest here for a few more moments. Okay, so we're going to hug the knees in towards us now. I'm just going to roll onto our sides, and we're going to come back into a seated position. We're going to bring our hands underneath our feet, and then we're just going to bow into this pose. So we're going to work our inner thighs. So we're just going to press our elbows towards the tops of the thighs and then bow our head towards our knees, and we'll just hold here for just a little while longer. So when we hold in these positions just a little bit longer, we just go a bit more into those deep connective tissues. The body stretches just a bit more. The body sometimes switches on a stretch reflex, which sort of almost like a bit of a warning signal, but then if you breathe, it just signals to the body that you're in a relaxed state, and then the body will stretch a little bit more. So just taking a few breaths and just allowing those knees to open, feeling a very not too intense stretch in the inner thighs. I can just hear birds chirping outside. It's really sweet. Okay, now we're going to take the legs out straight, and we're going to do a double forward fold now. So we're going to take the arms up, look to the ceiling, and then I'm just going to fold forwards, reaching for those toes. Wherever you feel comfortable, as long as you're feeling it in your hamstrings. And then we're just going to come onto our backs. I'm just going to cross one ankle over the other, and we're going to let the knees drop out to the sides, and then we're going to take the arms up over the head, opening up through the hips and the inner thighs. And then we'll just swap sides, so just change the cross of the ankles, maybe change the cross of the arms as well. Let those knees drop out to the sides. And then we'll come back up. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go into a happy baby pose now. So we can either hold behind the knees, the shins or the soles of the feet, And you're going to drive those knees in towards your armpits, and you're just going to hold here. You can rock a little bit from side to side. And then we're going to come into a bridge position now, so feet hip distance apart. Peel your hips off the floor, bring your knuckles underneath, get those shoulders underneath, push the hips up. And we'll just hold here for a little while. And then our final, our penultimate stretch, because we're going to do one more on our tummy. We're going to hug the knees into the chest. We're going to lift the head off the floor to stretch the back of the neck. And then we're going to drop the knees to one side and the arms to the other. I'm just going to hold here. And then we'll switch. And then we're going to roll onto our tummies. We're going to come into our froggy pose, creating a pillow with our hands, or just resting on the mat like this. Knees in line with the hip, foot is flexed, and then just resting the upper body into the mat and feeling a soft opening in that hip. And then just gently change sides. push your way up to a seated position. And we'll just sit here for a moment, just absorbing the work that we've done. Again, just rubbing the palms together. Maybe now just rubbing the back of the neck. Rubbing over the shoulders, doing that lovely desensitizing and havening technique where we just go up and down the arms a couple of times. Just feeling much calmer, calming everything down. Maybe some movement across the head, just massaging the scalp. Maybe just going across the top of the forehead, just gently to the temples. And just making that intention to slow down a little bit more today for the rest of the week and beyond. Take a deep breath in, big breath to release. One more time, big breath in and release, and just a little shake out. Well done.